But I blame you for being such a damn cheap that you let him terminate our marriage and make our child very unhappy. Why, Lizette? Why? Was I so bad a husband that you had to F that damn a hole? You were neither my first nor my best choice, but I married you when you needed me and even fell in love with you, Lizette. I have been a faithful husband to you until this very moment. She sobbed. It's not your fault. I never stopped loving you. You are my only real love, but I know you have slept with many other women and I had not experienced any man other than you. I'm sorry and really regret that I could not resist the temptation to do that, only with one other man, and I can promise you that I have no need to do that again. I replied, however, now that you have what you wanted, I hope you are happy. At least your damn mother must be very happy. She has gotten what she wanted during all our time together. Please make her even happier by telling her that I don't care about what you did, because your cheating got me free to marry a woman who really loves me. Didn't you understand that you terminated our marriage that Friday before midsummer when I begged you to spend the weekend with your family, but you preferred to go and F that Tommy at your mother's place? Did you really think that I would accept being a damn CUC? The only reason I didn't kick you out of my house right then was that I wanted to get evidence of your cheating so I could get rid of you without having to pay you anything at all. Please remember that I even offered you divorce on fair terms, but to my surprise you refused. A clever woman like you ought to have understood that I will never accept to be a poor husband to a cheating wife. I didn't want a divorce then and I don't want it now because I love you. Of course I understood that the kid had told you about Tommy and you suspected something. But I never thought you would get any evidence. I regretted the affair and have promised myself that Tommy was my both first and last cheating, but decided to fulfill it as Tommy and I had planned. The night with him in our house would be the grand finale, the very last with him, and my last cheating ever. To be honest, I was glad it was over, and I can't deny that your behavior after that Friday made me worried about the problems I had caused to our marriage. I began to fear the worst when you treated me like air and refused to have it with me. Therefore I wanted to be a good wife again and do my best to win your love again and really spoil you during our week in the summer house and do my best to get pregnant as soon as possible and give you the child you wanted so much. I've even been looking for a new job. I'm afraid it is too late now. I replied, right you are. The Friday before midsummer was your last chance. You didn't care about me then, and now after what happened last night there is only one possible solution to our problems. I gave her the divorce papers and told her, please sign these so we can do it the easy way. What do you mean? Whatever you prefer, the easy way or the hard way, everything will be on the conditions in our premarital settlement. You have a copy in your private bank deposit box. You get everything that belongs to you and I'll take what is mine, which means almost everything except your clothes. I want custody of our son, but you can see him frequently when you have a place of your own. But I will not allow you to take him to the dragon's nest where you are living now. She was very pale when she asked, do you mean that I don't have the right to get anything of what we own? Right. The house, the cars, my stocks and bank accounts and the drilling company are my private property. Please remember that it was your mother who demanded that we should get the premarital settlement. I have worked hard and been well paid. I have paid for everything here, and your dear mother have only paid you pocket money, hardly enough to buy you clothes. I've hired professional help to investigate the printing business and found out what you already must know. It will be bankrupt before the end of the year. Your mother owes you a lot of money. You have to claim what she owes you before her business files for bankruptcy, otherwise the bank takes everything. If you agree to cooperate in our divorce, I can pay for a lawyer to help you get your money. Your mother is going to lose them regardless. Therefore it is better for both her and you that you get them. Your mother may regard this solution as a kick in her ass, but my main reason for helping you in this matter is that with that money you can afford to get a decent apartment where you can take our son when it is your turn to have him. I'm thinking of our kid and you are still his mother, even after what you have done to him and me. Now she began her litany about how sorry she was and how much she regretted everything she had done. I interrupted her by saying, please remember how I begged you to stop it and stay home one weekend with me, but you preferred going to F Tommy instead of staying home with your family. You made your choice then and now I've made mine. Her next effort was to try and tell me that Tommy had never F her, they had only done some almost innocent necking. I pushed the button on the remote control, the video player turned on and our home movie screen began to show selected nasty parts of the videotape. Lizette screamed hysterically, stop it, stop it, stop it. I pushed the stop button and told her, sorry Lizette, that's too much for the damn husband to take. Why Lizette? Why did you do that to me? Why didn't you just tell me you wanted a divorce and you'd have gotten much better terms than you'll get now? Why humiliate me with that a whole? She understood that the game was over and began to sob. I continued, done is done and can never be undone, but we can do our best to find a reasonable solution. But if the damn dragon you call mother tries to play any further tricks on me or tries put her ugly nose in this matter, This video will be on the internet so the whole town can see what a disgusting mess my ex-wife has been. Do you understand? Now she was frightened and shouted, "You can't do that." What will I do? I have nothing left and even my job is going to hell. May I suggest you be a good girl and choose the easy way for our divorce? Just accept the terms in our premarital settlement and my conditions without any objections. I promise to help you get your remaining salary. Please remember that you still have your big love Tommy. He can take care of you like I did when you had cheated on your previous boyfriend. He can't. He's married. Not for much longer. His wife wasn't very happy when I spoke with her this morning, and she was rather angry, indeed, at noon when she had seen some pictures and clips from my video, which I emailed to her. She promised to dump him. Good news for you, Lizette. Tommy is yours from now on, only yours. Oh my God, you must be mad. How could you destroy their marriage? Not difficult at all. I found her phone number in his wallet, which he left here last night. Did you already forget that the damn a-hole F my wife in my marital bed and destroyed my marriage? Lottie had told me that she didn't want anything from my house and the only thing I wanted was everything in my home office and my expensive music and home movie set plus all of the art with some value. We decided to meet next Saturday to divide all our family photos and videos. I let Lizette take everything she wanted. She never mentioned anything about the almost new and very expensive marital bed she'd seen cut to pieces and brought to pile next to the driveway. She promised to pick up her things as soon as she got an apartment of her own and I intended to give away the remaining things to the Salvation Army, which had a second-hand store in town. Lizette looked glad that I made it easy for her to furnish her apartment and told me that she was very short on money nowadays and after some thinking she agreed that getting her remaining salary was an acceptable matter. Lizette chose the easy way, signed the divorce papers and I helped her load her belongings into her van. When Lizette had left my house I went straight over to Lottie who had a romantic dinner ready for us. Then, when the kids were sleeping, we went to her bedroom, where she had made the bed with new sheets. We hugged and kissed for a long time before we slowly began to undress each other. Both of us wanted to do so much that the only possible description of what happened there in her bedroom at that very moment must be true love, which is a higher level of what is usually called you know how. We had waited such a long time for a chance to do that and now when we got it, we did it well. It was a great night, indeed. Things went well for us and these days it is a pleasure to come home after work to a house filled with joy and laughter. And we are a family which does funny things together during the weekends. Lottie and I expected it would take some time before we got the kids to accept the new situation and were very happy when the kids almost at once got used to the new spare parent and each other's company and played well together. The card was Dan's suggestion. I accepted and he had his mother buy a nice greeting card on which she wrote in her nicest handwriting. Dear friends, I must salute you for winning the bet. You did what must be every parent's dream when you persuaded your only daughter to dump her good loving husband to become as for a cheating married man. She must be very grateful to you for the rest of her life. Yours truly faithful friend. I mailed it to Lizette's father, who, as the rumors in town later told, had objected to have Tommy at their place every weekend to seduce Lizette, but been overruled by his wife. He'd felt both sadness and anger while Lizette was crying for hours after I had dumped her. The card was the last straw on the poor camel's back and at last he understood that if he had acted as a man he ought to have put a stop to his wife's madness. He regretted having been such a coward and being turned into a laughingstock among his acquaintances. After a few drinks he had summoned guts enough to give his humble opinion to his wife. Their arguing ended up in a real fight, which sent her to the hospital for a week and him spending a night at the police station. The day before she was released from hospital he had packed his suitcases and left their home. As they had no underage children, their divorce was final within 3 months. After Lizette had chosen the easy way for our divorce and accepted all of my conditions with no objections, she didn't bother to get a lawyer of her own and the divorce went through as expected. I got custody of our child but promised Lizette not to cause any problems for her and she could see the child as much as she wanted, up to 182 days a year when she had her own place. But I didn't allow her to take the child to her mother's house or summer house. Lizette had no objections to that because she had gotten on bad terms with her mother and quit her job at the printing business. Her mother had gotten furious when Lizette had claimed her remaining salary, refused to pay her anything and went totally mad when Lizette sued her. Lizette won the case and the enforcement service succeeded in getting her money 2 weeks before the printing company went bankrupt. The bank had objections but Niklas had fixed her a good lawyer who persuaded the bank to withdraw their claims. Tommy's visit to my house to celebrate his romance with Lizette lasted only a short, intensive and, at the beginning of it, pleasant time which soon turned into a terrible nightmare for him. After I had found him in my bed and he went away naked from my house in his Volvo, he was caught by the traffic police who had a control for drunk drivers on their way home from parties. Lizette and he had celebrated the happy ending to their love story with a good dinner with my best Rioja wine and cognac. He was taken, naked, to the police station for a blood sample. One of Lizette's friends told me later that she had heard rumors that he got heavy fines and lost his driver's license for 2 years. His wife did what she had promised. She came home, dumped him and filed for divorce. Nowadays she works for the UN in Geneva, Switzerland, where she lives together with an Italian colleague whom she met during her UN job. Tommy tried to solve his personal problems with Dr. Booze, which forced him to take a timeout from his job. A good F doesn't always lead to good luck. He never met Lizette again and refused to take any of her many calls during her desperate efforts to talk with him. Before he got into her, he had made her promises about taking care of her if she got problems in her marriage. Now she found out the cruel truth, that all his talk had been only mumbo-jumbo and she had been naive enough to believe everything he told her. And she had finally realized what a tragic character he really was and gave up on her efforts and hopes of a happy future with him. The extra money from the printing business gave her a chance to buy an apartment in a nice area and she had no problems finding a new job. Though we are cooperating very well over the kid, we never talk about anything personal. Lizette is a very handsome woman and not a bad choice now that she is free of her mother's influence, so I'm a bit confused about why she is not dating yet. Lottie and I married immediately after my divorce was final. We sold both our old houses and bought one together. She is pregnant now and I think that these days we are a pretty average family of our time with 3 kids, all of them with a different pair of parents. We don't care about that because we are a happy family.